Hello everyone, it's Jazz. It's West Ham Minds channel. It's Friday evening. A very good day in the week, apart from the weekend. So Friday's a day to reflect. Have a glass of rum like me, Bacardi and Coke as always. And yeah, you deserve it. Hopefully you've worked this week fairly hard and it's time to relax. Think about tomorrow's game. It's 3 o'clock kickoff again Saturday. Suddenly West Ham United are getting 3 o'clock kickoffs, which they don't often get. And this one in particular, everyone, is away to Brighton and Hove Albion. I used to go to Brighton a lot with the kids, get a bit any excuse of fish and chips and go up the pier, play a few games, ghost train, Jazz never grows up, that kind of thing. So very nice part of the world. I like the South Coast, Bournemouth, Brighton, very, very nice. Used to go Portsmouth a lot for the Royal Navy Museum, Mary Rose, that kind of thing, if you're into that. And there's a nice designer shopping centre there for the ladies as well. So lots of things to do down the South Coast. And this is a new show, new format. And it's kind of called 6 Topics Opposition Review. I don't, as you know, if you follow the channel, I don't like to do opposition reviews or match previews. I just think it's overkill on the game if you're going to end up doing 4 or 5 shows in the game. But I kind of like this format because it's going to be rapid. It's going to be hopefully over in 10 minutes at the most. We're going to go into 6 topics, 6 areas, looking at the build up to the match, looking at the opposition, and hopefully that will kind of work for you guys. It's not going to be 1 hour, 1.5 hours talking about Brighton and what lineup or if, when, what we're going to do. It's just, I like it largely to be done when the game's over and we can talk about it. It's simple. So this is going to be, give you a little bit of what I haven't done in the past, but keeps me happy because it's going to be a 10-minute show. It's clear, concise, 6 key areas to look at when, reviewing the game really. So let's get cracking. The first thing we're going to look at is form analysis. So I'm just going to share my screen with you guys. So hopefully you can see that. I'm not sure where you're going to see me best. Shall I be about there? Will that be good, you think? Let's have a look. Okay, I think that'll do, wouldn't it? I like to be on the other side, but this app doesn't allow me to, I think, at the moment. So if you look at the table in terms of form analysis in the league table, we are obviously 16th at the wrong end as usual, and you've got Brighton in 8th place, so they are literally a good 12 points ahead of us. So that's where we are in terms of the current lineup for the league. So they're obviously looking to get into European places. We are obviously trying to get away from the bottom 3. So 2 very, very different seasons for 2 clubs. Brighton very much on the way up, West Ham trying to salvage this season and don't want to think about relegation at the moment really. So that's that. The next one I'm going to show you is the form. So this is based on the last 5 games. I don't want to go any sort of longer than that. You can do 10, 15, 20, 25, but I think 5 is enough. But interestingly enough, unlike the actual league table, in terms of the form, we're actually ahead of them on goal difference. So we are 7th on form. Brighton are 8th. Both got the same 8 points, 2 wins, 2 draws, and 1 defeat really. And very similar goals scored and conceded. We've got an extra goal, letting the same. So form says we're neck and neck. League says we are not. The next thing we are going to look at, which I'll show you now, is head to head. And again, this is the one all fans think when we play Brighton. It is the recent record against Brighton in the head-to-heads. That's awful. So as an example, earlier this season at home, we lost 2-0. And then last season, we lost 3-1 to Brighton at kind of their ground, which is happening tomorrow. Then it's a 1-1 draw, then a 1-1 draw, then a 2-2 draw, then a 3-3 draw, then a 1-1 draw, then a 2-2 draw. I'm not going to go beyond what we're looking at, about 7-8 games. And I can tell the story top of my head even without clicking on it. And it's a story has been that we usually have led in those games. I think 3-1 in that 3-3 game. And Moisey done his special tactics and we just about got a draw out of it. I think that's the Glenn Murray times, if you remember. So it's not good. It's not good. And it could be playing in some of the players' minds, even those one or two who haven't played this fixture a lot. But it could be. And David Moyes doesn't learn, as you know. He's stubborn, does the same thing over and over again. So we've got to get this bad luck kind of finish, really. It's gone on for too long, really. So let's see what happens. The next thing we're going to look at is formations. So we're going to look at a couple of games that the last two games, how Brighton have set up. And then I'll always like to see one or two other games where they've lost. See how the opposition is set up when they've lost. I like looking at that. So let's have a look at, for them very recently they lost. So Brighton, everyone under their manager, who everyone's loving at the moment, 42, 43, 47. I don't know, he's in his mid-early 40s. And he's very highly regarded at the moment. So it's a 4-2-3-1. So that's always good. That's the only thing David Moyes likes. So it's kind of like for like. And Fulham on that particular day, winning 1-0, matched them up. So 4-2-3-1. Another game you're going to look at was a 1-1 match with Palace that they regard as their derby. I don't know how, but there's some kind of rivalry there. 1-1. 4-2-3-1, again, similar personnel, similar position, so you get an idea of what's going on. This is a really interesting one. It's a defeat. It's Villa playing 4-4-2. But look, when they won 2-1, who has got both of the goals for Villa? It's Danny Ings, our beloved Danny Ings, playing with Bundia, who's a kind of like a Benrahma Paqueta type, not really a striker. And then a really strong defensive midfield. I'll come into a bit later on, but I think to beat Brighton or give them a good game, you've got to beef up that midfield with numbers or real strength in there. You've got to be careful. And this is one game, I'll come to a bit later on, where I agree David Moyes needs to be quite or reasonably defensive, or be careful in that mind. I think you got to win the midfield battle in this game, really. So that's formations, 4-2-3-1 generally, and then one interesting example of a 4-4-2 that won the game against Brighton. Our very own beloved Danny Ings got that goal. Key players, let's go into key players. So I think key players I am thinking of, let's have a look. Yeah, before I actually really go into the key players, if you generally just look at their squad in terms of sort of really good players and assists and things like that, yeah, there's a lot of talent in there. I mean, they've lost Trossard, who got them a lot of goals, but you've got players like Pascal Gross in there, McAllister, the Argentinian World Cup winning player, in there in the middle. You've got Kader Moses, who's again a CDM that a lot of clubs are after. Danny Welbeck still in there. So those are the kind of players. But the two that I'm going to focus on, Moses Caicedo, who's a CDM. Some might say that we should look at him to replace Rice if and when he goes. Transfer market values him around the 35 to 40 million mark. Ecuadorian international, 28 caps, 3 goals, 21 years old. If you look at what kind of season he's having, 21 games, 1 goal, 1 assist. Last season, 8 games. So again, very, very early. I know that's the worry when they big players up very quickly. But when you look at the Premiership games, the lads only played 29, 30 games, which is not even a season, really. So again, someone to keep an eye on unless he gets on in the CDM battle with our beloved Declan Rice. The other player, Alexis McAllister. So these two are the highest valued players along with the goalkeeper for Brighton, which gives an idea who their most valuable good players are. And won the World Cup, 14 caps for Argentina, 1 goal, 24 years old, very, very good age. Again, plays in that CDM. So when you look at the value of these two players, it's going to give Declan Rice and kind of Souček and Downs, if he's going to play, and Paqueta, really, really good game, good value for their money, shall I say. So it's going to be tough. So Alexis McAllister, he's got a couple of seasons. Well, he's kind of got three seasons under his belt, so a lot more games than the other chap. 21 games in 2021 season. And then he's obviously got 33 games last season, 19. A lot of goals for a CDM. I don't follow him a lot, but it looks like he's kind of like an attacking CDM. So if you look at it in Premier League, wow, 5 goals from 19. Last year, 5 goals again, 2 assists from that central position. So he's probably a bit like Paqueta. So it's going to be really, really good tomorrow to match up Paqueta and Rice if they're going to play together against these two. So that's a key battle that I'm looking at. Ideal Hammers lineup. Let's have a look what I think. Let me get that up for you guys. So my thinking behind this, everyone, is that I really want to play two up front. We're you know, I know we're away, but at some point we've got to try it. So I'm thinking, just give Scamacca. I do not want to see Antonio up front, please. I do not want to see that. So just give it a go. It's one of the options for me. You can kill me in the comments if you want. I want Scamacca rings up front. Ariel obviously is in goal anyway due to Fabianski's injury. I want a lot of pace, a lot of strength tomorrow. Yeah, so you got Johnson right back, Emerson left back. Oggy's obviously a bit old, but we have to play him in there. It's not ideal, him and Agar, two left footies. They did have a bit of a difficult period at Man United, but that is Man United away, you know. They are kind of one of the top teams at the moment. And Agard, yeah, he's had a bit of stick last 2-3 games. Hopefully he stabilises his game again in this one. So Oggy, Agard, Emerson, Johnson, flat back four. And then obviously Paqueta Rice in the middle with Bowen, Benrahma as the wingers, Scamacca rings. And all I'm saying, everyone, is let's just give it a go. If after 20, 30, 40 minutes it ain't working, then by all means, take Scamacca out if you want. That's probably David's going to do. And then yeah, put another defender in there, put another CDM like Downs in there. Because I was thinking, yeah, you've got to win that midfield battle with them. They're going to be strong, Brighton in the middle. And what they usually do is they just wait for that counter attack and just sit in there, don't give you any space. So I'm thinking maybe I would have played Downs in there as well. But then that was taking Scamacca out and playing. I was thinking of playing five across the midfield. But I just don't want Danny Ings by himself, and I don't want to play Antonio up front, and I'm not sure I want to start Scamacca up front by himself. It's just not a nice place to be up front by himself. So bear with me with this. This is what I'm thinking. It's something different, and that's what I just want David Moyes to try it, really. But the midfield battle tomorrow is going to be key, everyone. And I'm just thinking, just get the ball quickly up to midfield, and hopefully Bowen's got the legs to help Johnson. And Benrahma needs to work on his CDM side a little bit. But I'm just thinking, imagine you've got the ball and you've got two up front in the area waiting. That's going to be such a plus point for West Ham, really. And hopefully Scamacca can hold it up and allow some of the others to join. It just gives us a chance to score, put pressure, have shots on goal. That's what football is all about. It's not about just sitting back, even though you're away from home. It's not about sitting back and waiting for them to score, dominate, give them all the possession and just fight off scraps, lose the game by a goal. And David Moyes in his press conference, oh yeah, that was close, weren't it? We weren't that bad, were we? Give it a go, son. Give it a go. So that's for me. The last, obviously, area we're going to look at, the sixth key point, is predictions. So I'm just going to hide that for now. Predictions for me, everyone. Brighton 2, West Ham 2. I know that's kind of what's happened in a lot of the games in the past when I showed you that. But for me, I think Brighton need to be respected. They're in the top half quite easily. Got a very, very good manager. They have lost a few players, but that central midfield position and their centre-backs are strong. And that, again, I don't want Ings by himself up against Dunk and the other man monster. I want to give him support and help him, really. And if Ings was 22, 23, had the engine to play by himself, I would have thought about it, play him up front. He's 29, 30. I don't want the guy out the area when he's so strong in the area, all tired and blowing after 50 minutes because he spent most of the game outside the box doing defensive duties, which David Moyes just makes our players do too much when they're attacking players, you know. So I'm thinking 2-2 that it's going to be back and forth, largely due to maybe just keep an eye on Oggy and Agar together, because I think they've got a mistake in them. So just keep an eye on that. Areola still hasn't got an understanding with his back four. Emerson in the flat back four. Johnson. So it's the defence is the issue. That's why I'm thinking Brighton's going to get a couple of goals. Welbeck, if he's fit, he's getting one of those players who always scores against us. And if we play two up front with the kind of good form Benrahma, Bowen, Paqueta, we're good enough to get a couple of goals. So it's going to be one of those games, and that'll be good point away from home from Brighton. So that is what I am thinking, everyone. So I hope you've enjoyed the 6-point opposition review. It's a bit long, 15 minutes this time, because I had to explain the format of the show. Next time we'll try to wrap it up even quicker, 10, 11, 12 minutes at the most, or even rapid than that. So you guys 15 minutes is all I took. I've given your Friday evening back to you. Have a great Friday. We'll catch up tomorrow after the game and see what mood Jazz is in. God bless you. Take care.